How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Merrycrest sessions. It is Tuesday, March 19th, 2023, or at least it is in this exact moment where we're recording this. This is going to be a pre-recorded set, though will still remain unedited. See what I mean? 2024. I'm still going to leave that blunder in just for,
Let's do it.
Honesty in broadcasting and all of that. God damn it, I'm already drunk. What the hell is wrong with me? Either way, we're here with Ben Abney. I do apologize for those who wanted to witness this live. Unfortunately, Xfinity's internet decided to betray me in this current moment. Hopefully nothing that becomes a common occurrence. But either way, I want to thank you as always for supporting local music. That's enough from me. Let's get this show on the road, shall we?
I'm delighted, my friend, to hear what you say. That you're making small changes in the world each day. Wanna be there with you, but I have my concerns. And a lack of commitment if my memory serves. I always saw you as a man with a gun, teaching through the heartbreak of the farmer and the son, or as a poet with hatred in his words, writing and recording someone else's hurt. Let me carry your cross heavy as it is. You can carry mine when the time appears. Shouldn't take too long if we can learn to share. God, we could change this world, we could go anywhere. I always saw you as a man with a gun, teaching through the heartbreak of the farmer and the son, hatred in his words, writing and recording someone else's hurt. Figured I'd start off a little upbeat because usually I just tell stories and bum people out when I play shows. So, at least start off sort of fun before I start singing about death and losing my grandmother and my best friend the same year. That old familiar rattle of the window in the door as my tailgate and the tie rods fall apart. I just can't believe that this shit from old Detroit has held together longer than my heart. Wish it were a woman, I wish it was just love, that I had got fired drinking on the job, or any of those things on the radio. I took a hard ride off on Oak Grove through the winter trees. I could see that wooden clapboard barn that has stood 100 years, seen 1,000 storms at the back of my brother Joe's farm. Wish it was a woman, I wish it was just love, that I had got fired drinking on the job. Any of those things on the radio. And he came out the front door as I stepped into the lawn, with my blackest suit and my longest face on. Wish it was a woman, I wish it was just love, that I had got fired drinking on the job. Any of those things on the radio. Tell a lot of stories in the songs. It's sort of the tradition I grew up with. And I wrote this story about a real man that I met in Lexington, Kentucky. Well, Uncle Dan never had a lot to say. He lost an arm cutting timber up Kentucky way. Hadn't worked in 20 years since the accident. Shots of fireball at the bars where his money went. But when the band started playing, he'd sing along with every word, like he did when he was young and played guitar. By the time the night was over, he'd settle down. He'd call a cab and head on home wearing a smile. He lived up in the woods at the edge of town. Disability checks don't pay for better ground. Dan made a little money on the side, booking bands at the bar and running sound. Cause when the band started playing, he'd sing along with every word, like he did when he was young and played guitar. By the time the night was over, he'd settle down, call a cab and head on home wearing a smile. We found his body there in his trailer house. Stacks of magazines and records all around. His old pawn shop guitar was missing strings. To remember him, I learned to make it sing. Cause when the band started playing, he'd sing along with every word, like he did when he was young and played guitar. By the time the night was over, he'd settle down, call a cab and head on home wearing a smile. Yeah, by the time the night was over, he'd settle down, call a cab and head on home wearing a smile. I'll tune up a little bit here, but this next one I was writing when I was working down, I was in, let's see where I was, Batesville, Mississippi, doing some archaeological survey work, and they were widening the highway. Main thing about most jobs, especially jobs on the road like that, is getting along with folks, and you know, there's a lot of drinking after work hours, things like that. And
And sometimes, to get along with somebody, even when you love them, they get a little too many beers in them, and you just, hey man, good night. So then I told this fella good night, and I went inside and wrote this song. Good night, man. See you in the morning. If this rain stops, I get out of bed. If I'm not ill, if the ground is dry, if these pills stop ringing in my head, 3 more nights, 4 days back at home, 9 more in a motel by the road. See you then, tell you how I feel, sitting, talking, sharpen up our steel. Good night, man. Sun is setting on me, and it seems like path is short ahead. Maybe I'm addicted to the highway. It's this other one, it's gonna leave me dead. 3 more nights, 4 days back at home, 9 more in a motel by the road. See you then, tell you how I feel, sitting, talking, sharpen up our steel. I've been practicing to see, blame myself for everything. Why I got somewhere else to be, here sits me. Good night, man. See you in the morning. If this rain stops, and I get out of bed. If I'm not ill, and the ground is dry, or if these pills stop ringing in my head, 3 more nights, 4 days back at home, 9 more in a motel by the road. See you then, tell you how I feel, sitting, talking, sharpen up our steel. 3 more nights, feels like I'm never going home, wasted in this motel by the road. See you when these wounds have all healed, this may be my last day in the field. I don't tell that story a whole lot, mostly just because I take for granted, and I've been playing that song for so long now. I even did a music video for it like back in 2018, something like that. It's a lot of fun, pretending to do archaeology in the video. With some of the people I actually worked with on the job there. I was watching this show called The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, I think it was, and there was a character in there. They kept saying her name, and I kept going, I've never heard that name before. And finally, I realized, I say Imogene because I had a great aunt, Imogene. So this song's called Sweet Imogene. You were smart and you were funny when we were in high school, and you had a plan to catch that next Greyhound. But somehow you got all tangled up, this hard-headed fool. So motherhood and a diamond locked you down. Well, 18 is far too young. Give up on your dreams. And you were pining for some city with a stage. But it's hard to save up money when you're working at that laundromat, and even harder with baby on the way. That's my Joe Diffie ending to a song. May he rest in peace. I think, unfortunately, we lost him in 2020 due to the COVIDs. And lost a lot of greats that year. Lost one of my favorites, Mr. John Prine. He was definitely favorite songwriter of mine. I won't even begin to try to do one of his songs justice tonight. This is called Fire Nest. Highway makes it hard to hear, unless you speak right in my ear. Wind's a thief that tries to steal words you yell across this field. And I've lost this time. Fire ants on my mind. And I've lost this time. a.m. I fell asleep. Sweating secrets that I keep of the books I'm cramming in my head on the filth of someone else's bed. And I've lost this time. Fire ants on my mind. And I've lost this time. You on my mind. And I've lost this time. Fire ants on my mind. And I've lost this time. You on my mind. I'm gonna drink some water, and then that's not quite my halfway mark, but might be around there somewhere.
Once again, so far, this has been the Merrycrest Sessions with Ben Abney here. I want to thank you for coming out on the show, man. This has been a killer so far.
Oh, I've been looking forward to it.
We'll keep this thing going as it rolls along here. But how did this, let's go on and get some details here. How did this get started? How did your songwriting career come into being here?
Like this,
That's your origin
completely
story.
by accident. I grew up like singing in the church and playing country music and stuff with my dad and my family. But I didn't intend to be like the country music singer dude. In high school I got into punk rock and I played in bands for forever.
Nice.
Played in punk rock bands. But earlier I mentioned being on the road doing archaeology work, and it was hard to. At that time, I was in two bands. I was in the Drawls, and then I was in another band, the Angel Sluts, both local bands to Memphis. And it was really hard to go to band practice. So, and I had started writing all of these songs sort of in my living room maybe a few years before that. And at some point, a friend of mine who I also mentioned in some songs that I've played, but not by name, but he passed away. He made me play a show. Just me and him had sat around in the living room, and I was playing him these songs and stuff, and then he booked Mark Linsky from Hudson Falcons to come down from New Jersey to play in Memphis.
Oh, man.
And he made me play. He was like, he said, I booked this show and you're playing it. And I was like, oh man, I don't have like a band. He's like, I don't know, like by yourself, you're playing it. And I was like, I've never done that. He's like, well, you're doing it. So it was completely by accident. And then it was out of convenience because get into band practice when I never really knew my work schedule and I might be in town. Odds are I wouldn't be. So yeah, accident and convenience.
Take that. So what type of influences do you look for when you're putting this music together? Any specific artists or bands that you cite?
I grew up on all that old country stuff like Roger Miller and Marty Robbins and George Jones and of course Johnny Cash, all the Highwaymen stuff, Willie, and so I like stories, but I think there is a little bit of, growing up also listening to the oldies station, because I wasn't really allowed to listen to a lot of music growing up. I came from a very, very strict religious family. So But I could listen to the oldies station, and I think I was getting not only just like the pop stuff from the 40s, 50s, and 60s, but I was getting something unique living in Shelby County, getting stuff that, you know, coming out of Stax Records that was popular, but maybe more so regionally. And then gospel music, things like that. And then I'm trying to also tell stories that talk about real people and what they're sort of struggling with, from a standpoint of not pulling punches about it. And I think that leans into sort of the punk rock stuff.
I think that. So in the description here, we have links towards your Venmo as well as the link tree. Where can people find your music on, like, you know, social media and across the internet?
I have multiple records on whatever your streaming service you're using is. Whatever it is, it's on there. Bandcamp and Spotify. I like Tidal personally. They pay artists better and their streaming quality's better.
Hell yeah.
You know.
Absolutely.
Apple, you know, it's on all of that stuff. Or just come by the merch table sometime at a show.
If it exists, you can find it.
Yeah.
That's for sure. All right. So, what do you guys have upcoming? Do you have any upcoming shows or releases you want to plug here?
I have, I've got some solo dates in April. Got April 5th is in Lancaster, California. April 6th is at Kith and Kin at Claim Steak Brewery in Rancho Cordova, California.
Nice.
The 7th is, I want to say, Denver. And then on the 8th, where am I on the 8th? No, Kansas City's on the 9th. There's another city in there somewhere. Working my way back.
From the West Coast back to
Back from
to
here.
Memphis.
And then on the 10th, here in Memphis, doing some stuff with my buddy W.T. Newton, who's going to be on the road with me.
Awesome.
And we're going to play DKDC on the 10th. It's going to be like an in-the-round thing with me and him and Jeremy.
All right.
What?
Well, either way, we'll go ahead and get back to the music in just a second. Before I do, any other random shout-outs you'd like to make before we carry on?
Oh, no.
It's so good. It's no worries.
I'll talk if people make me talk, but I don't usually.
No worries. It's all good. Well, I want to thank you, as always, for coming on, and as well as for those who are watching and supporting the Merrycrest sessions. You can find us on all forms of social media as well. We're on Facebook, Threads, Instagram, and YouTube. I do believe, assuming my internet connection is fixed by the time this video is done, we'll probably look to, I'm actually going to set up a premiere broadcast to probably set up at 8 p.m. Tomorrow on Wednesday to ensure. I don't know why I'm plugging it like this, considering it's a pre-recorded, so I'm probably just going to say that before it drops anyway. Jesus, what the hell is wrong with me?
You'll hear it when
I'm not
you
used
hear
to
it.
I'm not used to doing it like this. God damn. But either way, I want to thank you as always for your support. Stay tuned for what's more that's coming this week and the next. On Thursday, we've got Fugitive Droids. And next week, we've got another double feature. We will have Shorten the Sleeve on Tuesday and National Anthem on Friday. We've got a whole mess of other runners coming in throughout the spring. And, of course, if you really enjoy what we're doing, be sure to check out our Patreon, which will also be in the description here. Every donation that you guys make helps us do additional non-Tuesday shows, as well as hopefully taking this rig mobile one day and doing it in other venues around the city. But regardless, I want to thank you as always for supporting local music. Let's get back to the tunes.
Song's about my grandfather, Ray. I talked earlier about having a tradition of telling stories, and he was that kind of southern man who never let the truth stand in the way of a good story, you know? Youngest boy in the family, brothers both flew in the war. Fishing at Oak Ridge, just dreaming your dreams, drinking coffee and sweeping up floors. Did they tell you that you were important? Did they hand out some medals at home for support staff who cleaned up the break room, standing watch for the scientists alone? How you would tell stories of greatness, flying solo missions at night, taking fire from the Germans and giving it back. No one cared, worn out the lives. Maybe Einstein was a personal friend, and you developed a bomb that would end what was already done. Let's gloss over that. Recount legends as we look at your maps. It's never your fault you were born last. You couldn't help being so young. I don't blame you for making up falsehoods. 'Cause Uncle Sam never let you leave home. How you would tell stories of greatness, flying solo missions at night, taking fire from the Germans and giving it back. No one cared, worn out the lives. None of that ever did matter to the 10-year-old boy that I was. You were a hero to me, your grits and sweet tea. You're the one who taught me to cuss. How you would tell stories of greatness, flying solo missions at night, taking fire from the Germans and giving it back. No one cared, worn out the lives. You were in the Navy, knew what you were fighting for. The prospect of your freedom's also worth waging that war. And the boys who died knew sacrifice would not be paid in vain. History books, they've told us so. Their pages are marked with stains. Sometimes I sit and entertain thoughts of how much things have changed. Our democracy is branded and sold on the stock exchange. No one's dying for a cause, but they're dying all the same. The transgressions have been televised, so we can glorify our shame. Oh, way down here where the king is cotton, wish old ways here could be with a few questions about where to place our faith. Is it worth allegiance to earthly flags and bar entrance at that gate? Or is this really all we have, and does it really even matter? Let's tear these statues down but keep the courage of our committed old fathers. Oh, way down here where the king is gotten, wish old ways here could be forgotten. Still living with this legacy, putting men and swinging trees. Oh, way down here where the king is gotten, wish old ways here could be forgotten. 'Cause we're living with this legacy, putting men and swinging trees. September the 15th, 1950. My cousin and I landed on Green Beach. 14 American boys lost their lives. My cousin and I walked out alive. Soul was waiting for us, and that T-34 is one powerful buzz. I dragged him back over the lines. His legs wouldn't make it, but he would survive. We always fight these bloody wars, men who justify the scores, boys who down foreign shores for the power that they are Tennessee was still waiting for me. I can visit my cousin on Shotwell Street. He'd recover from the loss of his feet, but he never was the same from the taste of morphine. We didn't know what was waiting for us. That gold in your veins is one powerful drug. I dragged him back over the lines. I had no idea he would never survive. We always fight these bloody wars, men who justify the scores, boys who down foreign shores for the power that they are ensured. We always fight these bloody wars, men who justify the scores, boys who down foreign shores for the power that they are ensured. Pretty good for playing it all in the wrong key. Yeah, I played it about a half step up, but it's kind of fun right there. I enjoyed it. Well, I guess I'll talk a little bit about my own experience with the military-industrial complex. Sergeant Simpson wasn't the only one to get kicked out of the Navy. 19 vulnerable I signed up to be shipped off. Slightly out of boredom, misplaced anger at my dad. My teenage anarchism never left my head. So the government and I parted ways on medical instead. It wasn't passion for the cause, 'cause freedom was my own. The bad habits I picked up on the ground. Back at home, things were the same, but everything had changed. 'Cause for the first time in my young life, I felt completely ashamed. Covered up shaky thoughts, tattoos, and I drank a lot. More bad habits to control the frustration I felt in my soul. It wasn't passion for the cause, 'cause freedom was my own. The bad habits I picked up on the go. 'My teenage anarchism never left my head. So we parted ways with broken hearts instead. It wasn't passion for the cause, 'cause freedom was my own. The bad habits I picked up on the go. 19 vulnerable. 2 more songs here, and then I'll turn it on over to the internet to do what it does. Jerry spends his time alone, working on his truck and riding his motorbike. Keeps his windows blacked out to avoid the light. Lives in fear of his neighborhood. His cameras catch the goings on of the people near his home. He's all alone. Leads a person to live that way, to keep suffering in that pain. Could have opened his heart to someone once before. He's all alone. Could have opened his heart to someone once before. He's all alone. Neckties and button downs and combing my hair, keeping up appearances and sitting in chairs, polishing shoes and trimming my beard, fixing up broken toys and holding back tears, fooling myself again. of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. Fooling myself again. Knowing it's all just pretend. Ignoring that still small voice is telling me to rejoice. Thanks so much for having me, man.
Thanks so much for coming on the show. Once again, this has been the Merrycrest Sessions with Ben Abney. I want to thank you all, as always, for continuing to support local. I apologize once again that this one could not be an actual live session, but I hope you'll be able to treat it as such as anyway. We do this for the fans after all. Be sure to check him out on all his socials as well as ours. And stay tuned for the coming artists. We got, like I said, Fugitive Droids on Thursday, Short in the Sleeve next Tuesday, and National Anthem next Friday. And a loaded April coming as well. But thanks as always for supporting local. We'll see you next time.